This episode of Super GG Radio is brought to you by our Patreon. Patrons of the show can get our Dogs of Super GG Radio newsletter, Super GG Radio stickers to slap on your closest PC or bag, input on what we cover, game nights with the hosts, and even a chance to win a copy of an indie we talked about. Not only that, but 90% of all patron contributions go to the Children's Miracle Network of Hospitals. Visit patreon.com/superggradio to learn more.
What's good, Internet, and welcome to session 278 of Super GG Radio, where friends chat about video games and all things adjacent. I'm your guide into the wild and wacky world of video games, Eric Getty Gettinger. With me, as always, is a man who could only eat 10 hot dogs in 24 hours, Alex Arona.
I still claim that I could have eaten more.
But you didn't. You didn't.
It's funnier, I was talking to someone recently about how I kind of have like a sinus infection thing. And they're like, you should go to a doctor. And I'm like, this body doesn't go to a doctor. This body can handle 15 hot dogs in a single sitting.
And yet,
you
didn't. You know, Alex, if you're opening your mouth, it better be to shove more hot dog meat in there.
You know, that's true.
Well, is it happening?
I got time to lean. I got time to eat more hot dogs.
Yeah. I'm going to demand that you go to the kitchen and get a hot dog right now.
I've eaten 2 sausages today.
You know, Daddy, we're a few episodes away now from him recording a back screen of him picking up and eating hot dogs and bringing them back and handing them back to us.
What if I did that? What if there was like slow motion and it was really zoomed in on my mouth?
I don't like that, but if
we
that's
get
what you
banned on Twitch
need,
for being too sexy.
Just get on the line with the Merry Christmas tree.
Yeah, dude, she would be so mad at me for being so provocative and erotic.
She would be mad.
Yes, she would. Probably for a whole other reason.
Mm-hmm. Not just eating hot dogs, so.
Nope.
This week we're also joined by a man whose rage knows no boundaries, Joel Fuego DeWitte.
Hell hath no fury like the damer scorned. The damer shall inherit the earth.
No, that's not true.
Live, laugh, girl gamer bath.
That wasn't bad.
I thought he was going to say live, laugh, light yourself on fire, but yeah.
I like girl gamer girl bath. That's pretty funny.
And yet somehow disturbing.
Very.
A little bit. People bought that.
For a lot of money. She made a bunch of money.
May I have the kind of money where I can needlessly throw it at weird niche.
Oh, I thought have the money of people who wanted my bathwater, and I was like, Joel, is that something you want to do?
No, nobody wants Joel Moonshine. Like, let's get real about that.
Gonna say.
I'm right there with you, Fuego. If you don't get caught, then it's probably not hurting anyone. It's probably not illegal either, so.
I didn't say anything like that at all.
Yeah,
I also question that.
Selling your bathwater? I don't know.
That's on the same level of the tasing talk. Like, mentioning it in passing is not some sort of endorsement or agreement.
Hold on. I didn't even get to the rest of this.
Uh-huh.
Also, I do have a conversation now to be had off air about
I didn't even read that. So,
and
there you go.
You already intuitively knew to go towards it. This week, we found out why 90% of overweight men in their 30s have podcasts. We define skibbity, and Alex finally brings out the taser for the holiday season.
Perfect.
Tase someone.
I definitely had a conversation with someone today about how tasing yourself ain't that bad and is totally doable. So, Joel, you gotta man up on this one.
You have tased yourself?
No, but someone I'm working with is still be like, oh yeah, I've totally been tased in the junk, and it was fine. And I was like, okay, that's a ringing endorsement. That's all I needed to hear to tell Joel, you should probably let me tase you in the junk.
I'm not going to listen to your taser guy. That's all I'm.
I have a taser guy now, which is weird. It's for the kids, Joel.
It's not.
No, it's not.
What point was it for the kids?
For every $10 donated to Extra Life, we tase Joel.
No.
$5?
Made sure to say nothing but bad things at my funeral. That's all I'm saying.
I won't do any such thing.
I mean, this guy seemed all right. He seemed fine.
You know, Alex would be there over the coffin just tasing your body.
Just continuously keep... Come on, get up. You're fine. You're fine.
Probably not fine.
Well, at least it's not teabagging, right?
Well, that's the other side.
No. You're introducing ideas. You're introducing ideas.
We didn't even need to head in that direction, and yet here we are.
Yeah, I know.
It was a
5
very big
minutes
thing
into it.
during Halo. Come on. Like,
Just Halo.
just Halo. I didn't
Only
play
Halo.
any other games where the community did that.
Counter-Strike.
Oh, yeah.
That was
And I was
Yeah.
guilty of doing it in Counter-Strike. But
You were
I
quickly
was
made-
also, like, a lot younger.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, the only person I'm going to teabag in a video game is Alex. Okay, well, I guess we could do
I'm
episode
not hearing
stuff.
you, Alex.
Yeah.
He's yelling
That
at
was
a
on
child.
purpose. That was on purpose. It was a...
He said, "Go to bed."
Yeah, that was exactly it.
I can read lips. No, I just know that this is the time of night where Alex is screaming, "Go to bed." Do you make sure that she has water this week? You're not trying
Yes,
to
I
dehydrate
did. She
her.
has plenty of water.
She's so thirsty.
Is it in one of those like little guinea pig droplet things?
No.
You just hang it on the bedpost. Be like, there you go.
That's where they drop her off for daycare.
That's what they do at daycare.
All right, in all seriousness, I think we have an episode here. We'll try and patch something together. I don't know. Whatever. How many viewers?
Enough.
That's-
Enough to continue.
Somebody is watching us on Kick, weirdly enough.
Oh, nice.
So hello to
Hey.
you, one person on Kick.
Guys, what's a kick?
It's new to me.
Is it? Do
Kind of.
you know what it is? What is it? Is it just a streaming platform?
That's what Joel tells me it is, and I say, okay, Joel.
We have Twitch at home.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes more sense.
Okay. I guess we're going to early adopters, where we play alphas, betas, and games, where I choose violence. That's right. This week I'm talking about Acts of Blood. Acts of Blood.
It is. Yep, we're playing Axe of Blood. Tell me about Axe of Blood, Getty.
Do you have
What
some kind
is
of like
Acts of
video or B-reel footage that you're rolling on this right now?
I do.
Are you really? What's it look like?
It's a trailer for the game, including gameplay, and it's on loop.
Oh yeah?
Okay,
Yeah.
now
So
I-
people know what I'm talking about?
If you talk, you
Oh,
haven't started
wow.
talking
Yeah.
about it yet.
Impressive. We do have video on stream.
I know what I'm doing here.
Do you?
I don't know what you're doing here.
Also, Alec does this every week too. I don't know.
I don't know.
That's
I don't
Alec.
think.
Like,
I don't think that's true. As a matter of fact, I don't think there's any way to verify any of this as being true. Acts of Blood.
You could punch through the railing. Cool.
You could punch through a lot of stuff. You are this guy, and this guy is real not happy. Yeah, he's out for vengeance of some kind. The story is not super clear to start, but you're right there going for it. Third person behind like a nice view of all of this guy just beating people up. Graphically, pretty nice. Except, I'll tell you that when you start the game, you get to equip your character, so you get to pick the outfit.
Some cool.
I
outfits.
picked a hoodie, and while my character was riding his motorcycle to beat the ever-living hell out of a group of people, it kept clipping, and it was like a real funny clip.
Oh, really?
Just like waving, graphically nice to look at. But that was real buggy, kind of fun.
So for me, this game is the B-est of B games. This is a B game. Is a throwback. This is
True Crime, Streets of L.A.
Okay.
Yeah, this is Sleeping Dogs. This is Jet Li Rise to Honor.
Man, you're
Jackie
beating people
Chan
up,
Adventures,
though.
the video game. Sifu.
Mm-hmm.
It just really was this. It has a lot of like the heavy punches that really connect in a really satisfying way. And it kind of has like this magnetic feel to it, so everything kind of magnetizes to the enemy. You're bouncing back and forth between a bunch of enemies with a big gaping yellow Y button above their head that says parry now, and you just gotta hit that button to parry. And he does a cool cinematic move where he parries their move and then hits them back a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
It's just overall top to bottom a very fun kind of brawler, but it definitely is
Campy in a lot of ways.
Limited, just even the more like the graphical sense. Yeah, you're seeing a lot of clipping. I definitely, I was boxing and I had a weapon. I had a hammer, and it was definitely like I was like this with the hammer through my face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With putting the dukes up, just like really like this with the hammer, and it was going through my face. So, it's not the best in that way, but I do feel like it has a lot going for it as far as like how fun it was to. Like everything, like you said, is up for grabs. So you can grab a box, kick it in someone's face, grab their bat, hit somebody else, whip it at somebody, knock somebody over a railing, hit them with a ladder. All of this stuff was just there, ready to go, and that's super fun to me. When you could just make this game, whatever you want it to be, just really going buck wild on it, and that's what I really liked about it.
Yeah. No, it's the combat is fun and funny, and not in a ha-ha kind of way, but when you really perform a finisher or you get a couple of good hits on somebody, you're like, oh god, that looks painful. Sometimes you knock somebody down, and just like I would go to attack him and just stomp. He would just stomp
On their face.
Like, no. I know that guy's not okay.
Yeah.
God help them if they have an axe. And you do a finisher with that thing. You just slice them to pieces. It's terrible. This game's not afraid of violence. And grant you, it's, I don't want to say gory, because a lot of it is kind of that almost Kill Bill level of ridiculous amount of blood, so it's almost comical.
And it's not like gory, like shooting out of places. It's just like you punch them, and then big splash of blood appears around that area.
Yeah. Fundamentally, it feels very strong, very tight combat, more weighty, as you mentioned. Sifu is an okay comparison, although that's a lot more technical and difficult than something like this. This definitely seems more, I would say it's closer almost like the Batman Arkham games in terms of difficulty. Like a nice wide window to parry and block against. You don't have to be too precise about the button inputs. You can chain together a combo okay without being really, really precise on it. Weapons galore throughout. When I first got my gun, I did not realize you could shoot it. And so
Why would you shoot a gun?
I was just beating people with it.
Yeah, that's all I did with any gun I ever picked up.
You can't shoot it, apparently. I did not know that for a while, though.
I have no desire to. I like to kill with my fists.
Yeah, I could do it with my hands. Get my hands dirty. Yeah, I think that it felt best when you were doing stuff like that. It felt best when you were getting your hands dirty. Hitting those combos, because you do get a little bit of a combo meter. And, of course, there is like a press up on the D-pad and it just goes, yeah.
Rage mode, man.
Rage mode. I'm so angry. And he did not do anything different. That's
He
what I
hit
kind of thought
a lot
was funny.
harder.
He did,
I feel
but
like
I was
hoping
hoping
go down while I was doing that.
I was just hoping for more of like, oh, let's see some cool moves here. Let's see some really sick, like some slick animations. It's
You were
like,
expecting
I mean-
like Yakuza.
yeah.
So the character, when you would rage mode, you would be able to like move a lot quicker to the enemies. Like I felt like you didn't have to be standing right next to them. You got close enough, and he would do like the running dive punch, and then, like Joel said, you didn't lose health. So it was, It
was pretty cool. There are things to do here. Like, we're not done with this. There's skill trees that can happen. There's ability enhancements, level ups, right? There's a lot more you still can do to make this even better. This was just a taste of what was to come from this demo. What should you expect from this type of game? Here's what to expect. It's like fantastic. This is a perfect bite size. Like, I get what I'm doing. I understand the game itself. I am in. Let's do that.
Yeah, but I wanted to use my money.
Oh, yeah, because you do get a bunch of money, which I always think is, like, kind of interesting, because he's just picking up racks, like, just racks and racks of cash. And at one point, he was like, oh, I should probably punch my way through this safe.
Yeah.
Punch, shatter. Ooh, and then, like, if he doesn't ever talk, he's just got an inner monologue that you hear. Mm-hmm. He's like, this will probably come in handy later. Pockets full of cash.
Yeah, unfortunately, the conversion rate to dollars is not favorable.
So when he picks up racks and like 7 racks of thick cash, he's probably got $17.50.
No, the conversion rate for the Indonesian currency is, oh my goodness.
So he's got like $6 in change. Got
probably close to that. Like it's not, again, not very good.
Worth less than the paper it's printed on.
Okay. Oh, we don't.
I don't know. It's so $1 equates to 16,000 Indonesian rupiah.
Oh yeah.
So
okay.
I think I had maybe $2 by the end of maybe a little bit more than that. I don't know. It was hard to keep track of how much I was picking up because I was too excited about punching my way through safes and then picking up and using a lot of crazy stuff as weapons.
Yeah, there was a bunch of different stuff. At one point, it's just a giant like lead pipe. And I was like, oh, this feels aggressive.
With a lot of stuff coming off of it, like yeah.
I kicked a wet floor sign at somebody and hit him in the crotch with it, and nice. I thought that was pretty wild.
This is good stuff right there.
Yeah, you get a chainsaw at one point. You're sliding, and it does have like you. This guy has the cool guy moves. He is jumping over boxes and sliding across them. I did feel there was some animation imperfections. I felt like when you hit the run button, his arms are moving way too fast. It does look a little cartoonish, but I mean, again, I think I like what this game is doing, even when it is doing stuff like that. It's like, okay, it's fine. Just give me more people to punch.
All right, Axe of Blood.
Wishlisted.
Thumbs up. I do like some violence. What I'm not so keen on is Falling Down.
And White Knuckle in it.
The other game that we played was White Knuckle, and this was reminiscent of one of the games that Alex had us play for Extra Life. The one where we kept just falling and climbing up and falling and climbing up and falling.
Only up. No, chained together.
Chained together. Except in this, you don't really have much body. All you can see are these two hands, and you use your controls to grab with each hand. Eventually you get some items, and it's always about just progressing and trying to get higher and higher if you played the campaign mode of White Knuckle.
So, okay.
Okay.
There are very specific grapple holds, and you're moving around. I did the lengthy tutorial, and I was like, okay, I kind of know what I'm doing. I kind of know how to play this. I can move forward. I don't need to sit in this tutorial anymore. I just need to move on.
Climb. I just need to climb, bro.
Yes. And the campaign mode wasn't really messing around anymore, and they kind of give you like two handholds and they go figure it out, and I'm like, I feel like I missed something in the tutorial because there's nowhere else to climb, and it just seems like there's sludge rising that will slowly murder you.
I like the noise that it would make, and it was like boop,
very goopy.
Boop. Danger.
Yeah, that also. So And the thing is about this is that I'm putting up the trailer again. It looks so cool in what you're doing with this climbing mechanics. They put in like monsters that you're climbing up their legs. There's monsters chasing after you. There's insects that are trying to attack you, and you can use bars of rebarb to throw and kill them. But we could also use them to climb. There's a lot going on here, and when looking at this gameplay, it looks super sick. It looks super involved and very fast paced. And
what did I play?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that it feels like this trailer.
Are you describing the same game that I played? Because it was for me. The experience was like, all right, here I am.
Footage I have right now. Pull up the footage I got running because it looks amazing, and I'm like, I don't know what game I was playing. It's being chased by a giant skull face on a snake body while it's climbing some danger tower, and I'm like, that looks awesome. And when I play it, it's like, why doesn't mine look like that?
It's the
like, why does my grill look awful?
Almost military crawl light speed when you're grabbing stuff, or at least when I was playing it, I couldn't.
Not when this guy is playing in the trailer. He's not.
no, he's got Game Genie on. Like he's got all the cheats on.
He's booking, and that's where I was like, I picked it, and I was like, this game's gonna be sick, and I'm like, it probably is sick. I just don't know if it's me. Even just the grab the bar and swing and jump was a very hard struggle for me. So I think it might just be a me thing that this game's going to be awesome for everybody.
Don't even get me started when it was like, here's some items. You can grab a hammer and some pythons. And I was like, okay, let's see. Why can't I drop anything? What is happening?
They don't explain that. You have to go to the control scheme. It's like right on the D-pad to drop stuff.
I was like, no, I'm just gonna wing this, and then I made it like to the halfway through the second layer of the campaign thing. So you climb like easily out of this one little spot, and then you start to like
get out of that spot. I didn't get out of that spot. Don't say easily.
And then you have to like climb around, and it was about that time I was like, oh no, something bad's gonna happen. And then shortly after that I fell, and I was like, I don't know that this game is for me. It seems like it would be fun to challenge your friends to see who can get furthest. Yeah. But also I feel like you can make a lot of people upset by having them play this game.
So I did figure out how to use the hammer and pittons, but that first section, I don't know how you're supposed to get out of it. They give you like one pitton. So,
yeah.
I found one, and I didn't find the hammer, so it wasn't helpful. So I was just going in circles trying, and the very few handholds there were, but there was no other place to go. There was this giant gap, so I was like, I don't like. I went through the tutorial. I spent 30 minutes, maybe more, in the tutorial, and I don't know how I can't play this game. So I don't know. It was. I think this game is awesome. The idea of having these like climbing mechanics on each hand in a very horror, suspenseful way. When have you heard of a scary horror themed rock climbing game?
I mean, rock climbing in general is very scary to me. So,
but it seems even cooler when there's like really grotesque horror happening around you.
Maybe. Not going to disagree.
I think my main point is, Dark Machine Games, I know you're listening. Help us figure out what we did wrong.
Give us some tips. But no, seriously, I think that I think this is a fantastic idea. I like I'm always pro when you give me a game that I'm like, I never thought about putting these two things together. Pretty cool. But I'm also saying, man, I sure am not good at this game.
Again, this is the kind of thing where we just have to punish each other with it. Like, all right, somebody's got to play this.
Is this the new video game punishment?
Oh, could be. Okay, we're going to write this one down. We're going to write this down here. I got a pen here. I'm going to write this down. And you know what? Okay, take us out of here. I'll write it down on break.
Yeah, we'll check back soon. I think Alex has another taser planned. BRB. This is the news with Super GG Radio.
I didn't show you Phil's wiener pics. I'll put that in the chat.
Now with 8% more memes. You got them memes? You got them sick memes, guys? No?
I don't think I do.
Yeah.
I know that Joel sent at least one.
Well, I've sent several. Shinra Boss and
Oh, that was you?
Tom Nook. Yep.
Yeah. Don't like that, but
I'm okay.
can't do anything about it.
I'm okay with Tom Nook.
Like, you're cool with Tom Nook? You guys are bros, or like you
Yes.
don't have any problem with him being the...
I don't have a problem with him being a financial
Slumlord?
institution for
He's a slumlord.
Iron Life.
He kinda
0% interest loans. Like no bank gives you that kind of leeway. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but what happens if you default and you can't pay it back?
He breaks your knees.
You don't have to pay. That's the other thing too. You can just live in your shack. You won't expect any payment. It's just like, all right, whenever you feel like it, whenever you can, we're good.
You're trying to spin Tom Nook into a positive light, and I don't think that you're getting the big picture here.
I'm just showing the world the truth. I'm a Tom Nook truther.
No one likes Tom Nook Truther.
I feel like there's some ways that we could spin this, but let's jump into the news. Y'all like them newses, guys? Well, we got them this week. Is it anything interesting? I don't know. Probably not. First up, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth will have no DLC so that it can focus on the third installment. Okay.
Alex
Didn't even finish. He didn't even finish it, so he might
I didn't start it.
see it.
Do you own it?
Yes.
Day one.
Is it sitting
Day
there
one.
in
Day
the
one.
saran wrap still?
No, I opened it.
He took
I
it
have
out
to
and put it in the steel case.
No, I took it out and I flipped the art
Cover?
You flip
Yeah.
it every time.
Was it worth
I
it?
got it. Flip it. Yeah, I'm very happy.
Day one.
Day one, baby.
Day one.
That depreciates in value worse than a car off
Oh,
the lot.
it's so, it is
It's
so
like
crazy.
$20 right now. I've seen it on sale for Black Friday. They're like, it's $20. Like, I like that.
You could have been done with it. Traded it back.
I
made
would
at
not
least-
have been done with it. How long that is? It's as long as Persona 3 Reload, and I'm still on that.
It is in fact not. I can verify. Having played both of those games this year to completion.
Please stop talking about completion, Getty.
Nope. That's
Okay,
the only way I can finish.
So as the only person who has beaten this game,
Yes.
would you
Doesn't
rather
need
they move
DLC.
on to the third game?
Yes. 100%. Does not need DLC.
Okay.
This went like they really like padded it out. Would you confirm, Getty? They padded the crap out of it.
I would say that it was longer in some areas that I didn't feel like it needed to be. There are some places I wanted to spend more time. The Golden Saucer.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, you eventually can go back, but the way that you end it is very close to the regular Final Fantasy VII-ish story where you're about to get into that open world mentality. Now, they just need to move on. They need to get that last one out. It's the only way. Doesn't need DLC. I appreciate the DLC from the first one because it got to introduce Yuffie, and you actually, saw something cool and different with her. But there's still more characters that you haven't even been able to tap into, and got to get there.
Do we think it ends with a third installment?
I would hope so.
They have kind of said that there's no reason to keep going further after that.
They put a lot of time into this.
Mm-hmm. The developers have said that they didn't want to go any further than that.
Okay.
But it makes sense. That whole first one, you're in Midgard, and then you get kicked out and you're hanging out in just about every other place. A lot of different locales. It's exciting. It's cool stuff.
Have you met
Here it's
Sid?
real pretty.
Yes, I have.
Do you have an airship?
You do not have an airship by the time you finish
All right.
this.
Okay.
But
What about
man, it is some fun stuff happens with Sid.
Vincent?
He's hanging out with the party. You don't get to play as him.
Dang.
No,
Oh, what?
that's reserved for Joel when he busts out his copy of.
No, when they
Dirge.
re-release it. Oh, he left.
He's still
You
got
made
it.
him leave.
He's
You
got
made him
Dirge.
Yeah, he's got Dirge. That's one I would go back to.
Dirge of Cerberus?
Yep.
Really?
Also, there's talks amongst some friends that I have about resetting up a PS2 to play the
There it is.
There it is.
Dirge.
There it is.
Perfection incarnate.
I should play that. I would like to play that game at some point.
You should. You
I
should
would
play
ask
it
him
right
if I
now.
know it. Joel, can I borrow that?
I got all the Final Fantasy I need right here. Thank you, though.
Can I borrow that?
Really?
Yes.
Yes. I want it back, though.
I was talking about trying to set up
Needs
a
it back.
PS2 for streaming because I want to play that and I want to play the official sequel to Nightmare Before Christmas, Uki's Revenge, and it's on PlayStation 2.
You know, I remember a week ago when Alex said that he doesn't need anything from the PlayStation 2.
Yes, and that's
'cause
why I
he was-
kind of want to just
he
I kind
was
of want to just wrap
whelmed.
this up.
Yeah.
I want to wrap up this thought process on the PS2 that I don't really like it that much, nor is it helpful or useful in my life. So because of that, I do want to knock out some loose threads and then say, yeah, I was correct.
Was he correct? No. Will he continue to say he was correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Until we tase him mercilessly. Next piece
Yeah.
of news. Final Fantasy XIV coming to mobile? Did I need this? No. Will I use it? Probably also no.
I think mobile now means kind of nothing, in the way that we have Genshin Impact, what is it, Zenless Zone Zero, and Honkai Star Rails of the world now all existing on mobile and just being console quality games on your mobile device. This seems like, yeah, okay, if you could probably do that.
Does that make mobile gaming better or console gaming worse?
Yes. Everything. Both of what you just said.
Two things can be true, Joel. Predator
The
no
world
stumps.
is
That
a
doesn't-
worse place
that doesn't
because
sound
we're in it,
That does sound right. Yeah.
and we make it even worse by having a podcast.
I mean,
Yep, that's how it works. It's our job to make things worse.
as long as we're amusing ourselves.
I long past the point of amusement.
You
Steam
can always count on me.
Controller 2 and new VR controller are both reportedly by whom?
Insiders at Valve. Joel, are we day oneing this?
I feel
Steam
like you
controller?
snuck a rumor in the middle of the news.
I think he did too.
I absolutely did. I didn't feel like doing the whole thing. Joel, are we day oneing this
No.
or what? What?
The 4 Xbox controllers I have in the other room tells me I'm good on the hardware. Thank you.
But
then.
this will work on your Steam Deck, man.
I don't need another
Joel doesn't
controller
use a
with
Steam Deck.
trackpads instead of D-pads and I don't need that in my life. Sorry.
Don't worry. When we
I have been
it finally
I have
actually
been
gets released
Stadia
and you
once
see it,
already.
you can
Not
still-
never again.
You
Never
can still
again.
make your decision later.
I don't,
Understood.
I don't
Your
want it.
rights are reserved to make a decision later once we see it. I get it.
Okay.
Joel, you don't have to do it.
I know I don't have to.
But he might. See, that's the thing.
No,
I have
I
now
won't.
successfully gotten him to keep the door open.
I won't.
I have now successfully gotten him to keep the door open.
Like what killer app would there need to be for me to even consider it? Because it's not just cool a controller that I can use on my Steam Deck.
You know that
has
you've bought
a-
more for
it
less.
has a
You have bought more
controller
for
built
less.
in.
You have bought more for less.
That is like buying the Steam Deck and then buying a dock to play it on the TV. That's not the point.
I definitely did that.
I'm not surprised.
How often?
Wow.
How many times have you think that has come in handy, Joel? Answer that question. How many times have I played the Steam Deck on the TV?
Zero.
Zero. Zero. Zero is absolutely the right answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Next piece of news. Next real piece of news. Post Malone Love's Hunt Showdown has 400 hours of playtime.
What's Hunt Showdown?
What's everybody's opinion of Post Malone? Are we still cool with him?
I got over him, and now I'm back on it. Now I'm back okay with him.
He has
Yeah.
the one ring which makes me inherently question his morality.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, somebody had to have it.
What did he pay, like $2 million for it?
$2 million.
I would sell
He
it.
paid, that guy got rich, so good for him. Like
Yeah.
he gave that guy a bunch of money.
That
Yeah,
is-
$2 million.
That's what I'm saying, is that he's not like he like cheaped the guy out and been like, I'll give you concert tickets. No, he paid the guy. Come on.
I mean, yeah, you would too. How many
Yes,
concert
of
tickets
course.
would he have to give him?
I know,
All
for
the-
life. Like, I'll take concert tickets for life. That's cheap, man. Come
I
on.
just-
give him money.
There's some world. You guys remember the old videos of people on launch day of video game consoles going out, buying it, walking out, and just smashing it on the ground?
Vaguely, yes.
Vaguely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's some world where the person who gets the one ring card walks outside of a gaming shop, shows people, and just tears it to pieces and throws it in the wind.
I guess. Just mean-spirited, Joel.
I'm surprised we don't live in that world. That's all.
Really?
I don't know. Everything else is kind of crap, man. I don't know what
Yeah,
else to...
and that would be crap too. That's my point.
All right, so Hunt Showdown. It was an early extraction shooter where you and friends go into a map. It's like a Western-style game, so you have like pistols, 6-shooters, what have you. And you're going and gathering resources and fighting off monsters and demons in the swamp bayous in the Wild West. And killing an enemy, you can then choose to extract. But the thing is, there are other teams who are trying to do the same. So they can actually hear you in the map. They can kind of ping and track you. Wait till you defeat the monster, and if you're still like kind of hurt, they can come in and kill you and take all of your loot. It's a whole risk-reward system.
I think I've played something like this at some point.
Yeah, it's an extraction shooter, but it's been around for a minute. Like I think I had it here, 2019.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
That's a bit of time.
Yeah, probably like 400 hours.
Apparently Post Malone's doing country music now.
That's what they
I
tell
think
me.
we're past that. I think he did that already. I think he's done with that, and he's back.
I feel like there had to have been some inspiration there. Maybe.
You think so?
Oh, maybe.
Maybe.
All right.
No, the country phase is usually pretty short lived. Beyonce is going to be out of it in about a year.
Does she know that?
Probably.
I
money.
feel like she
Like that
probably
guy who
has
did that cover
Twitter's
of
vision
Tipsy.
on what her career is.
Yeah. Like that guy who did that cover of Tipsy. Everybody in the club getting tipsy.
Who? What guy?
Who was that guy?
But you know that song?
Yes.
Yes.
It's very hot right now by a man named Shabuzi, who made it a country song.
Okay.
Yep.
And you're a fan of being Shabuzi?
Less so. But it is what it is. Good for the man getting the bag, right? Get the bag.
What's in the bag?
Money.
What's in the box?
Star Wars Outlaws.
Star Wars Outlaws is dropping forced stealth. Okay.
Well, this is more for you because you were planning on playing it, and there are whole sections
maybe.
that are forced stealth sections that everyone has been really mad about.
Are
So
they
now go- now
bad
you go-
at stealth?
It's more the fact of that, like the checkpointing is real bad, and also the vision cones are really like not fully it's like people will not be in a vision cone but still get busted. It's very quick to just sound alarms, and they're instant fail states. So it's like start
people
the whole
are
mission
inherently bad at this.
No, I think that stealth sections can be inherently flawed if they're mandatory and instant fails. I feel like if something happens in a stealth section and you fail, you should be able to have to deal with the consequences. Here, the consequences are game over, and that stinks.
Like me a good game over.
Anyway, now you can go full Danny DeVito and blast your way out.
Nah, I'm good. I'll just ask for a copy of the game with the without the stealth, or with the stealth, without the stealth patch. There we go. That's the one.
There you go. There you go.
Next piece of news: Xbox Cloud streaming now allowing non-Game Pass games. Xbox Cloud streaming now allowing non-Game Pass
So the cloud
games.
streaming service was only for Game Pass games. So
Game Pass
now,
games.
yeah, now if you were to buy a game on the Xbox service, you can now. So one of the things that people were talking about was, now you can play Baldur's Gate 3.
What, they didn't just give away Baldur's Gate 3?
On Game Pass? No.
Oh, that seems like a missed opportunity. There's no way that could have backfired.
Yep. So now
You're saying that if a game was on Game Pass, left Game Pass, you would have not been able to play it
on your cloud streaming on your cloud? Yes.
Wow. Joel, that's messed up.
So, there must be a different, because I played Near Replicant, and I used my phone to play it every so often. So that must have just been a direct link connection of some type then, rather than cloud. That must have been like a remote play thing instead.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Why is it not on Game? Is that not on Game Pass anymore?
No, it's not. I've got a disc of it. This is the right move because even though you're paying for Game Pass and xCloud, that needs to be a benefit. Yeah, I know. It needs to be a benefit beyond Game Pass. Just presumably they want people to buy games on their store, not just rent them with Game Pass.
Well, this kind of goes along with their new ad, right?
Mm-hmm.
My laptop is an Xbox.
My toaster is an
It
Xbox.
is?
My phone is an Xbox.
My son
It
is
is?
an Xbox.
My sandwich is
better.
an Xbox.
Everything's an Xbox.
Like you just whip something over your shoulder.
Yep.
Visual medium, Getty.
I know that. I'm not sure that you know that. It's a
All right,
week-to-week kind of thing.
It is.
PlayStation Portal allows cloud streaming beta.
We're gonna need
Okay.
you to report on this, Getty. And for our previous segment, how does it stream,
How does it stream?
or how do you stream?
So
How do you stream, Joel?
yeah,
I don't know.
In this
You
case,
guys weren't
when
very
we say
creative
cloud
with the
streaming,
naming
we
conventions.
mean off of local Wi-Fi and remotely from somewhere else.
No, that's what it used to do.
It doesn't anymore.
No, it's now you can play games that aren't just on your PlayStation. There's a library of games that are on because you have to have PlayStation Plus to be on this beta.
Okay.
You play
So wait,
the games
what
that
do
are
I
in the
need to do?
PlayStation catalog on your Portal cloud streaming from the PlayStation.
So you
service.
do not need to be connected to your PlayStation 5 to play cloud games through this beta.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm not even sure if that's what he said, but okay.
because that's what Portal does. Is that it logs into your PlayStation and you play a game.
Right. I mean, my mind goes to the Wii U. It sort of just is the gamepad for.
No, that's what the Portal is.
Yeah.
That's what the Portal is. But now it's play a library of games on the cloud.
Okay. All right.
I guess I have to figure out what this is. Okie dokie. Next piece of news. Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake devs want to do Final Fantasy VI next. Okay. They can do that. Approved.
I mean, I think that they did an amazing job with the HD 2D remake. I've seen a lot of the footage from it, and it looks amazing. Especially they did a lot of lighting. So with these like 2D pixel art characters holding like lanterns and it glowing in the environment is just such a cool effect.
Did you get it?
No.
Did you get it day one?
I have not had the opportunity to get out of my house yet. To go someplace to buy it.
You're gonna buy it
As opposed
from a
to
store? Not
As
the Steam
opposed-
store?
Oh, I would probably want it on Switch, I think.
Really?
I think so.
Okay. Anyway, last piece of real news. Looks like it. From Software has received buyout offer from Sony.
I don't know if there's no reason for this to happen. I don't. FromSoft has had enough success at this point that they don't need to be like beholden to the big PlayStation company.
So,
But it's a buyout. Doesn't that mean that they would purchase the company?
this is a rare case where I actually dug in and have a little context around the news. So, From Software is owned by a parent company. I don't remember the parent company's name, but From Software is a small sliver of that entire corporation. They, after these rumors came out, openly said, we have gone into I think called letter of intent, which is basically an agreement to make an agreement with a company. You know, it's like a pre-plan. You know, it's sometimes before the NDAs happen. Clearly, it's before the NDAs happen in this case. But the idea being that the things I had read said that Tencent was considering coming in and swooping in and having a hostile takeover, which is what compelled them and Sony to start negotiating rather than have that happen.
How do you feel about that, Alex?
Again, I just would prefer them to stay independent if that was possible. They just do such good work under their own constraints. They've done a really good job of keeping themselves well managed. I guess I don't know what their crunch policies are, but we haven't heard a whole lot of complaints as of yet. And they've put out such a solid product at their own clip, meaning they don't really like rush to get things out. They get it done when it gets done. And these games come out, you know, not super fast, but enough time that it feels like, oh, okay, it's about enough time for another one of these. So I just don't think that, like, I feel like anything else is just going to make them worse.
Maybe this is the monkey's paw that needs to curl for you to get a Bloodborne remake.
We don't even need that. We just need the remaster, man. Just make it look pretty, work 60 FPS, and work on a PlayStation 5 and PC. I'd play that game again. Hell yeah.
Get on it.
Would he?
Yeah.
I mean, what's stopping you from playing it right now?
The pile of other games that I have to play that you grief me about.
Yeah, you should play some of your games.
Yeah, Gettitron.
I don't know what you're talking about. Freebies?
Freebies.
Freebies!
Freebies. That's what we're talking about.
Let's go to freebies. First up, Beholder on the Epic Game Store. You want me to do this one?
You're a state installed landlord in a
Totalitarian
country. Place listening devices, steal and sneak into your tenants' apartments. Use what you uncover to report on anyone capable of plotting against the state. You must, but will you? It's a grim dystopian
Probably.
future. Yeah, this seems like an apartment management game where you have to make decisions, and anyone that is part of an uprising, you have to report them to the government, I guess. I don't know, I'm a down with the man kind of person, so.
That seems like a little bit too on the nose right now.
Agreed. What's next?
maybe we stray away from that one. Deluge Why would you do this?
Yeah,
Deluge
funny.
Threnody of crashing waves on Steam.
In the not-so-distant past, the Isle of Abbott underwent a mysterious evacuation event. Delve into the secrets of this unsettling place and elicit the girl's tragic fate. An interactive visual novel with psychological and Lovecraftian undertones. Deluge, Threnody of Crashing Waves.
Next, Strinova on Steam.
It's an anime-style third-person tactical competitive shooter. Switch freely between 3-dimensional and 2-dimensional forms. I don't know what that means. In this one-of-a-kind game that offers a unique tactical shooting system for an unparalleled experience. Came out this year. I am installing it now. I'm very curious about this. I can't tell. It looks like it wants to be an Overwatch, but not. It's all anime. And I don't know about 3D.
All the time.
3D/2D, what that meant. That was confused. Oh, your characters can go full 2D like a piece of paper.
Okay.
That's weird. I don't...
He's describing this, but it's just kind of like going over my head. Last one.
Why? I don't know what the benefit of that. Go ahead.
Demon Compass on Steam.
The occult item will guide you through a bizarre in-between world and help you to confront past demons, as well as piece together former memories that may lead to closure. Seek a better understanding of who you were, who you've loved, and how much you've lost in this third-person horror adventure game. It looks to be PlayStation 1 style graphics, like third person, mixed with some real good FMV. I'm going to also install this one. This one looks like it came out this year. I'm into it. How long to beat has it at? Tell me about this Demon's Compass.
Be funny if it was like 46 hours.
Not even.
He'd be like, uninstalling it now.
Not even on how long to beat.
You know what you should definitely do?
What?
Some podcasting.
I can do that when I'm dead.
Because podcasting, it's what's for dinner. We're taking a break. We are back with the Backlog Blog, where we play games with the single purpose of increasing our EP. Alex.
Yes?
Time to get plucky with the Plucky Squire.
Yes, I had the opportunity to review the Plucky Squire for Nintendo World Report. I played it a bunch. It is a storybook, cutely animated Saturday morning cartoon style video game where you are the Plucky Squire as he goes to thwart an evil wizard. When you get there, he says, "I've been exploring the Elseworld and I have found out that we're only a book. We're a children's book," and expels the Plucky Squire from his book. And once he gets out into the real world, it becomes like a 3D. He looks like a claymation character. And then he now has the capability to interact with the book. So he later, as the game progresses, he learns how to turn pages. So if there's a puzzle that he can't figure out, he can get out of the book, turn the page further back, find the solution, then come back and bring something over.
That's kind of neat.
Yeah, and they also do things where like there'll be a boulder that you can't move. If you just lean the book slightly, the boulder will move with the book leaning. They do kind of a couple things with it. And also, the wizard will send out enemies to the real world for you to kind of fight off. So those become like dungeons as you have to leave the book. And the real world, which is like an animator's desk, they will have built they took like a bunch of blocks and notebooks and pens and pencils around and made like a castle, and you have to fight your way through it. So the game does have like these like double moves of like, oh, I'm playing this story in the book of what's happening, and it's 2D, very original Zelda-like. which every time you go to a new part of the map, they turn the page. But then every once in a while you pop out and now you're 3D Zelda. It's charming, it's quirky, it's boring.
It's boring because it just you didn't enjoy the puzzles. The puzzles were too easy, or the story progression isn't fast enough. What's
every which way the game keeps just telling you what to do.
not challenging enough.
You go into a map and it all of a sudden stops you and pans the camera over and pans it to a door, then pans over to a key, and then pans back to you. And you're like, great. And then your characters talk for a minute like, man, there's that door. I think it needs a key. Where could the key be? And then someone goes, I think the key's over there. And you're like, great. And that's happening, and you can't skip this. They're talking. And then there's also a guy that like you can talk to that he will say, by the way, the key's over there. Like it's a hint system too. And then you do the thing, and it's like great. But they do that every single time. There's never a time that you're left to just do the thing. Like, okay, let me do it. Let me figure it out. Let me get there without three people stopping me and saying, hey, the thing's over there. Maybe you should go over there.
What's the target audience of this game?
I can't tell. I mean, maybe it's kids, but I feel like kids would lose patience because it just keeps stopping you every step of the way. I felt like every time I was set with this new situation, it would just stop me. And they do sometimes like adjust the gameplay with like, oh, here's the map, and there's the word this, like on the, because it's a storybook, it'll say the way was blocked by a giant bug, and there's a giant bug in your way, and there are other words around. So you can find like tiny bug or a smushed bug, but you can grab that word in place, put it with the giant bug, and you could swap the words out. And that would be cool if they did it more than like 5 times throughout the game. Like they do it very, very, very few times, and it's not ever any difficult. There's like, oh, your path was blocked by a huge bug, and then it says over here, there's one sentence that says, oh man, this gate is tiny. And that's it. There's no multiple sentences on the book page. It's just these 2 sentences, and I'm like, well, I guess I go know what I'm gonna do.
That's too bad, because that description kind of reminds me of, is it Baba Is You? Where
yes.
It's like you would swap the logic in that to solve puzzles, but then swapping vocabulary in those circumstances to wildly change an item or the world you're in. Now that'd be a neat hook to play throughout a game.
Yeah, and that's clever. That's a great idea. If only they implemented it more than 30 seconds of actual gameplay here.
Yeah.
And have more than 2 to 3 sentences where you know the answer. Then the other part is that when you're not doing the Zelda stuff, 2D or 3D, they do implement these like mini games. You fight a monster and it's like, oh great, I'm gonna show him the Plucky Squire, and he flexes out of his sleeves, which is pretty funny. And then it's like play Punch Out. I'm like, cool, okay, so they have a Punch Out mechanic. I'm into that. No, you never see that again. And then you get a golden bow and arrow from a living magic card, like an actual magic card, and you hang out with that person, and they give you a bow and arrow. And it's like, okay, great, the boss is here. Use your bow and arrow in a very slow targeting system. I'm like, well, that minigame kind of stunk. And then they're like, oh, the bow and arrow's gone now. You gave it back to the magic card. Cool, never do that again. Okay, sure. And continue on your Plucky Squire quest. And it's just, I really, really wanted to like this game, and I just felt like the entire...
It's kind of wild, because Metacritic has it at 83%.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Yeah, it just sounds like a world of missed opportunities from how you're describing it.
That's what I'm saying, is that there's so much potential here, and they just never capitalized on it. The other part is that I played... and I don't want to jump ahead and say like, oh,
it's too late. You already are.
Gory Cuddly Carnage. I played that as well. I reviewed it, and I gave it the same as the Plucky Squire, and I would go back to play Gory Cuddly Carnage any day of the week. it kind of shows expectations. This one looked amazing. It like had this just such a fantastic. It presented so well, and then by the end of it, I was like, I don't want to play this anymore. I don't like. I'm gonna finish it because I have to, but I don't like. I'm not into it. And like Gory Cuddly Carnage, I was like, all right, I didn't think it was gonna be amazing, and you know what? It ended up being a little better than what I thought it was gonna be. I'm happy about that. But they gave the same score, and at the end of the day, I was like positive on Gory Cuddly Carnage, and I'm like, I don't know, Plucky Squire really bummed me out.
I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah, it happens. I was hoping for so much good, and it just the entire time I just kept going like I don't. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. I don't know, Joel. Try it with your boys. Maybe they're super into it, and like I'm not the demographic. I just feel like it's so slow, and they keep stopping you that kids would just lose patience.
I mean, you as an adult that is trying to play through the game, I can get that you would be frustrated. But yeah, maybe it's just the wrong place and the wrong time.
That, or again, I think that maybe it is just like it's just the stopping and telegraphing so often just is unnecessary. I think that we need to just think better of our players. Like, oh, okay, they'll figure this out.
There's also, I forget who said it, but the idea that a kid's game has to be dumbed down, instead of just being a good game that appeals to kids. So, yeah, I'm not paying $30. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I think that the presentation is fantastic. It really is. It does look really cool. I've shown this off to people and say, hey, look at this part where get out of the book. It's cool. But I don't. But then like, oh, you want to play it? No. Let's do something else, man. Let's just do something else that I feel like that would just better respect my time as far as like what I'm doing in this game. But yeah, so that's Plucky Squire.
Thanks, Plucky Squire.
I am quite plucky.
And you're a lucky ducky. But you know who else is a lucky ducky this week? It's Joel, because he finally got his hands on Vampire Survivors Ode to Castlevania. And I was hyped that Joel got to play this, because I was on it a couple of weeks. I think I got it when it came out. I am very proud of the $4, $3, like $3-4 purchase. And it is worth every yeah, Alex, but I play the games that I get on day one, so.
There's also a bit dollar per hour value differential between the two of you guys, to be fair.
Yeah.
So, I guess I'll, for the uninitiated, Vampire Survivors is a auto runner.
Auto battler.
Vampire Survivors now? I'm gonna Google that.
It is a game where you usually try to survive a level 15, 20, or 30 minutes, depending on the level. You, over time, collect gems that you get from defeating enemies, which then give you weapons or accessories. You can mix and match them, and they will upgrade into like ultimate weapons that cause untold amount of carnage and completely fill your screen with flashing.
Can we call it a third-person survival horror game?
I'm okay with that.
Actually,
nothing's wrong about that, is it?
I'm okay with that.
I actually remember what they're called now, and I think it's like Bullet Heaven. Instead of Bullet Hell, you're the one shooting all those bullets.
Okay.
Yeah. That feels like a stretch.
In that explanation, the whole thing about it being like you're always searching for a vampire, and let me tell you...
Was there a vampire?
I mean, you get to play as a vampire now. But not really.
So,
I didn't.
All that said, since coming out, the original game was $4 too, or something like that. There's been a ton of DLC, including Among Us, which my kids have really gotten into. This is the funny side effect of getting this and playing it, is that a few years later they're actually into it, and of course they showed up to Among Us and played that. And my oldest had the insight of, hey, why are all the collabs and crossovers with games that are unpopular?
Why is that, Joel?
Because indies need friends too.
That's true.
But I mean, this is
harsh, real harsh.
Yeah, the unvarnished truth that comes out of kids' mouths sometimes is it comes from a point of innocence. Let's put it that way.
I think you need to, the next time something like that happens, say something along the lines of like, no, your games are stupid and unpopular, and then just book the video game system out of his hand. And that'll teach him.
You tell him it's the kids that are wrong.
You're the adult. His games are the ones that are not popular with your demographic.
Your games are skibbity.
Throw an Ohio in there, too.
Oh, yeah, Skibbity, Ohio. Yeah, tell him his games are Skibbity, Ohio.
And
then you riz your way out of it.
I was going to say, I don't know if Ohio deserves it, but I think they deserve it.
They definitely deserve
Ohio
it.
deserve it. They have Skyline Chili. They deserve to be out of the...
I think we had this conversation last week. Mm-hmm. But get out of here, Ohio.
I've talked to both Mary Kish and Jeff Grubb from Ohio, and have both said, yeah, Ohio can fall into the sea.
So, Ode to Castlevania is the Vampire Survivors DLC of the thing.
Oh, right.
It's like the cover. It's like the cover band bringing in the real band to be the openers for the cover band. That's what this is. It is just them bringing in all the stuff that the game was inspired by. You actually get the music from the games, which feels so right in this, and most of the characters have their own unique soundtracks too that harken to some of the games they've been to and such. The level itself is really great. I have not cleared it probably to the depths that you have, Geddy, but in this level there are different warp points, and there are boss battle markers throughout. Because other levels, the bosses will just sort of appear over incremental times. This one, for the most part, they're bosses marked on the map that you have to walk over to and kill in order to get the treasure chests that then allow you to do the power-ups and such for it. So that's a neat wrinkle. When you kill some of these bosses, they drop weapons or other items. So that's an interesting wrinkle to it, too. There's a bunch of stuff on the ground, and
there's crazy amounts of stuff,
like 2 or 3 different weapons, the tiramisu coins. There are these cabinet items where it just lets you choose whatever accessory you want from it.
Yeah,
so you can end up
kind of like the gift in the original game.
Yeah.
You could, or maybe it wasn't even the original. I think they introduced that after one of the patches, but you get like a box and you could select a weapon out of it. Now you can get a cabinet and you can select one of the accessories, and that is super cool.
But this level does one of my favorite things in this game, which is each player usually has a natural limit of 6 weapons and 6 accessories. If you play your cards right, you are with 7 or 8 weapons and 9 different accessories by the time you're done with this.
Oh, it's obscene now.
Yeah, it's
how'd you do that?
It's so much fun. Well, with each of the expansions and even this one, they introduce more weapons, but they didn't expand.
How do you have more than 6?
Because if you already have the maximum amount and then you get one of those gift boxes, then it adds it on top. Or if you pick it up off the ground while you're at capacity, it adds it on top. So if you load up with everything and then you continue to like find these items and these weapons, you just get bonus stuff, and the screen looks even dumber than you would. It's like, because
like
at a certain point,
build the UI for it, so it's just out of frame.
It creates a new row.
Yeah,
because they knew you were going to break the game.
Yep. And these are all strategies that to do really well, even in the base game, you start employing, filling out your card and then picking up stuff off the ground and such. But just the sheer amount of map junk all over the screen means you're going to have absurd stuff happening. And they got all the great homages, too. So some of the bosses are from Symphony of the Night. I forget the names of them, but that sort of pterodactyl-looking one where the dragon that was picking up and carrying them and then would drop them on you.
The duo. That's a good one.
The mirror match from Symphony of the Night. Mm-hmm. And that one is really cool because it changes from that top-down view to actual side-scrolling. So you have your really fumbly, weird Vampire Survivor character that moves just as slow as normal.
You walk into the room and it shifts on you.
And the whole circle dial thing opens and the mirror you comes out like Symphony of the Night. And then it's just the auto battler kind of stuff, but just in that 2D side-scrolling stuff. And you have the worst jump in the world. And so you're just sort of like shuffling back and forth, dodging their one attack, letting yours go off, and then trying to jump. And your character does a little flip in the air as he's jumping over too. Just a lot of really silly, dumb things.
You really are making me want to play Symphony of the Night. I'm like, man, I should play that game again. That game's real good.
You should probably go play that game.
Yeah, that game's real good.
You can't borrow this one.
No, okay. I have it somewhere.
Okay.
Do you?
Yeah.
All right.
The one funny thing I've noticed recently, though, this game is starting to buckle under the weight of the sheer amount of stuff in it.
Oh, no.
So I started playing this on Switch, and it works just as good there as anywhere else, but even before then, you started seeing like a little bit of loading times creeping up on that. The old Castlevania stuff, there might have been 5 to 10 second loading time sometimes before the game started, which I'm not used to. Probably closer to the 10 second range. Even on Xbox, when it used to run just like snappy, start up right now, it is delaying like 4 or 5 seconds now. So I do wonder how much more they can squeeze in before this thing just sort of crumples apart and they need to have some definitive edition or something.
Or do some like optimization.
Yeah, something to that effect.
Too funny.
But all in all, great addition to the game. Absurd amount of stuff that you can unlock and play through. And for one level, it seems so multifaceted that I feel like I'm going to be playing it over and over and still finding new stuff. So, very good stuff.
You will. Yeah. It's real goofy.
Have you gone through 100% of the Contra section?
No. I've been a little out of it on Vampire Survivors for a while, so I've got that to go back to. I didn't really do much of the Among-Us either, so lots of backlog stuff to play through.
That'll be Christmas break.
Might be. Yep.
All right. That seems to be all of the content that we can shake a stick at for this week. So let's transition to our final segment of the night. One last thing, and this week's One Last Thing is brought to you by Thanksgiving dinner at 1 p.m. because some people have to eat and they don't want to stay up. They just got to go straight to bed.
At 1 p.m.?
1 p.m.?
My family's weird. Whenever I'm next week is Thanksgiving, and I'm making dinner, and I will have to have dinner ready by 1 p.m. It's more like a Thanksgiving lunch at that point.
Yeah, I've done nothing wrong with that. I would do Thanksgiving lunch. I just go to bed. Like you guys call it nights at 5:30.
My mom, she's just like, I'm gonna go home and go to bed, and I'm like, fine. Like you do that.
It does get dark at 5.
You, I guess.
So
drive safe, please don't fall asleep while you're driving. I guess I don't think she's narcoleptic, but it just leads to a really weird conversation. Mm-hmm. Really strange. My one last thing, I noticed something very funny today, perusing my wish list on Steam. 30 Birds is coming out on November 28th.
Wow.
What?
Today
I've been waiting
dropped.
for that one for a while.
Today dropped Dungeon Crawler.
Yep.
And there was another game that I
forgot to
believe
do 1.0.
is coming out in the coming week, or it said that it was coming out soon. Hold on.
I did get an update for one game that's like, oh, this game just
Yeah,
came out.
I got a reminder. Oh, you know what? For me, it was Gladio More. It's early access next week. So.
Oh, it does get full early
Yeah.
access? Nice. Servo Nuts.
Okay, I don't think that was the one. Oh, Lens Gloss is listed as November 2024. So I will see what happens in the coming weeks, but this is
Oh, yeah.
this is fun and funny because I was hoping to make it through the rest of this year without too many more additions, but whatever.
Servonauts is the one that's like a multiplayer. Your guys are like top down. You're like attaching colored tubes around. Yep.
Yeah, we played that.
Yep.
All right, Alex.
I'm playing a game for review. I haven't really talked about yet, but but other than that, I do have a healthy backlog. I have a couple of games that I've been playing. I Am Your Beast still remains to be really good. I will tell you right now, I strangely got into Dave the Diver. And that's a pretty good loop of 2 sections of just spear gunning fish, and then a section of you having someone make sushi and you serving it to people in like a dining dash mobile style game, and that's also pretty good.
Okay.
So I that's been a really good, like, brainless, I'm just going to cunt fish and then serve them as sushi. Though when you upgrade something, there's a really big animated anime style. Like the guy who makes you weaponry, he is a big anime fan. So he does a whole thing where it's like, the gleam in his eye and there's action and he's like measuring things, and yeah, it's very funny. Dave the Diver is pretty funny, and I think that it's a really good mindless thing that's on my list right now, just for like, well, I need something to play. It's kind of mindless, and I don't really want to focus on anything. So,
Okay. Cool beans. Joel?
Baldur's Gate 3 is pretty good, guys.
I had heard, but wasn't sure.
What? The H.
Joel's like 10 hours in, if not more.
What
I think he's like
the
15
H?
He's like 15 hours in. He's doing like 6-hour sessions with Kevin.
Yeah, my introduction, I would not have gravitated to it if not for the guidance of somebody playing with me.
Of course.
But now that I've had that, my mind is going like, well, it's going to be really cold, slow winter. I have that Steam Deck. It runs Baldur's Gate 3.
Do you also get the idea now why Alec makes so many characters in Dungeons and Dragons, like, ready to go?
Yeah. It just sounds like a lot of work.
Like, I wonder... But it's not really. He's just putting together pen and paper, and he's like, man, I wonder if I have this character, and then they're spec'd this way, and then they upgrade their class to this thing, probably be pretty funny.
Yeah, I want to go back and play Baldur's Gate 3 and roll a monk. It seems like it'd be kind of fun.
You could do some real dumb stuff. Do it with what is the thing where you have the Dexter voice in your head? Joel, there's a feature you can choose that makes it so that your one extra decision is that there's there's a voice in your head that's constantly like, you should probably just murder everybody because murder's pretty sweet.
That just sounds like
Dark
Disco
Urge.
Elysium. That just sounds like Disco Elysium.
Well,
yeah, but
when you start the game, you could play with the Dark Urge, and it's just a constant urge to kill. So all of your decisions also come with another extra decision of like, I should probably just murder a bunch of people. It's a pretty funny
but
idea.
I understand that if you do play that, if you fail like a wisdom save, then your character will just like straight up murder people,
he blacks out and then everyone's dead or something like that.
Yeah, and then other people will leave the party. They'll be like, hey man, remember when you killed that person? It wasn't cool. Bye.
Yeah.
So maybe don't play that unless you really are looking for an experience.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I hear it's pretty, but I hear it's like it is completely different in the way that you have to navigate some of these things, because sometimes you're like, well, I'm probably gonna fail this check, but is there a way for me to murder somebody quietly so that the rest of the team doesn't get mad? So.
You remember Kevin came on and he talked about it for like a good 20 minutes, and I had to gate him. I was like, nah, we need to keep moving.
You did that multiple times. He's come on like 3 times, each time talking like 20 minutes apiece on Baldur's Gate 3.
That's his forever game. Like he'll play that for the rest of his life.
For now, until something else comes along that is as comprehensive and... All right. We're good?
Yep.
All right. As a content reminder, we will not be recording the week of Thanksgiving. Unfortunately, Alex has a family. The rest of us agreed to record, but he said he's out. So
I'm okay with that.
all right.
I got food to eat, man.
How many turkey dogs are you going to eat?
Oh, so many tofurkey dogs.
No, turkey dogs. I didn't say...
Oh, no, I'm going to do tofurkey. I'm going to do regular dogs. I'm going to do tofu dogs. I'm going to do turkey dogs. I'm going to do all the dogs.
All the diggity dogs.
All the diggity dogs.
Well, that'll be it for this week's episode of Super GG Radio. Before we go, you can find us on Twitter at Super GG Radio and Twitch.
No, it's cool now to say that you can find us on Blue Sky.
I don't know what he just said.
We said Blue Sky now.
What? For what?
You don't say X. You don't say Twitter. You say Blue Sky now.
Okay.
Yep. You can find us on Blue Sky at Super GG Radio. Super GG Radio.
I don't get it.
It's the new Twitter.
Is it?
Yep.
Is that where we are?
It's official.
Okay.
Cool.
So do we have to like go to new Twitter?
No, it's called Blue Sky now.
Like the app has changed? I'm just confused here.
I'm gonna write here. You find us on Blue Sky.
All right.
There you go. Read the script. Read the script,
You can
monkey.
find us on what was once called Twitter at SuperGG Radio and twitch.tv/SuperGG Radio, where Thursdays are our podcast day. Yeah! Otherwise, sometimes Alex streams on Wednesdays. What does he stream? Well, he'll have a beer and he'll try and survive in Dark Souls. Demon Souls? Demon Souls.
Demon Souls.
Will he survive? I don't know.
I didn't beat any official big bosses, but I made lots of proggies.
And I don't like the way that he says that.
I'm still not enjoying prodigies.
It's okay. You don't have to like it. You know, you don't
Sounds
like
like
Skibbity. You don't like Skibbity, Ohio either. But I'm,
Sounds like
gonna
something
happen
that
when-
you can
Prodigies
catch.
has like
in
a bad aftertaste. I don't know.
You're
I don't know how to describe it.
gonna, whether you like it or not, it's gonna exist. Long after you're dead.
He's not right, but he's not wrong either. And Joel does whatever he wants. He'll stream when he wants, and you'll like it, and you'll watch it.
I'm trying to get him back on the itty bitty indie committee, but he just says flake the entire time.
He's got a family, man. You keep his
he's
family,
a
out of
family
this.
man.
I don't know if that's right.
Jay-Z said that.
Okay. If you'd like to reach us with questions or input, our email address is mail@superggradio.com, and provide us a review on iTunes or the
Subscribe
podcast app of your...
Yep, of your choice. And also subscribe to our YouTube channel. We do have the breakdown of Gladio
Mori.
Gladio Mori.
Yep, there we go.
You could, like, put stuff in the episode instead of screaming over me. Is there anything else that you would like to scream at the audience before the end of the
He
episode?
just wants to backseat
think that's it.
host. Don't worry about it.
He can have hosting back. He can have the whole podcast back. I
I'm
never
a little
asked for
lazy-
this.
I'm a little lazy to write stuff in the doc right now.
Again, not my podcast.
Fistmas.
If it was my podcast, It would be optional, and I would never show up.
And you wouldn't wear pants.
Please, I'm not wearing them now. Please check out our Patreon, where you can get monthly pictures of our dogs, get your name read off as an executive producer, free copies of Early Adopters, and Alex will even come to your house and tase you.
I shake my head emphatically.
And we'll tase him right back. Thanks for listening, and good game, Alex.
GG, Getty.
Good game, Joel.
Good game.
Alright, what's a blue sky? Somebody explain this to me.